Hey guys, welcome to this week's video. So this week's video going to be slightly different, not really an arse shame, but all being well, going to be an interesting video that's going to hopefully stir up some thought and really going to share with you some of the experiences I've had over the last 24 hours, and one of them being absolutely incredibly thought-provoking but funny at the same time. But I've been able to reflect on that experience over the last 24 hours, and it stirred up some thought indeed. So one of the things I often say is that my work here, my working with the consulting, is all about nourishing, nurturing, and at the heart of it, supporting change and transformation. And I really get a sense from the innate and sense from spirit, and being in a kind of sense of working partnership with them has been and is an incredible honour. It's a gift and it's a privilege, and I think at the heart of their work it is all about creating highly dynamic, positive change, nourishing, supporting that change into transformation. And the sense I get with them at the moment is, how that change comes about is with each and every one of us, in the decisions we make, the choices we make, the way that we live our lives. And I think there's an unraveling going on. Recently, via those of you that follow my Instagram posts, my Instagram feed, is there's been a lot of kind of discussion about this sense of, over the last few years, almost as if there's been a wall that's come down, and a good friend of mine, a very close friend of mine, had a dream where the wall just kind of crumbled, and it come crashing down. And I think the other side of that, there is so much change afoot. I see it within my close friends' lives, I see it within my family, I see it within my own life. And I think at the heart of all of this, Spirit's intention is to nourish, support and nurture those changes. That is at the heart of their work, as well as development, as well as contact, as well as messages. But quite often those contacts and those messages are entwined in, anchored and centered in nurturing, nourishing change and transformation. One of the things they say quite often is what drives them to make contact is to add value to your years. What drives them to make contact is to add value to your years. And I think that's just so profound. And based on that, I just want to share a couple of things with you. Is those of you that do follow my Instagram feed, I reposted and shared a post. Let me get it up here. Only yesterday, so it's fresh, it's new. It's probably 24 hours old now. That will be about it. Let me just get it up so I can see who it is as well. It was a post sharing the work of Hugh Fernley, Anita, and Sir David Attenborough. Okay, and it was a repost from Sobo Wastebusters. Okay, and the post read, in the simple and compelling words of Sir David Attenborough: "Dear supermarkets, for the sake of the planet, less plastic please." And it's a campaign they've launched that is asking us for the next week or so to return the plastic packaging that you may have when you go shopping, and to write a message on it using the hashtag Air Plastic Feedback, or another hashtag there underneath, War on Plastic. Very, very simple. And Sir David Attenborough, he wrote his message: "Dear supermarkets, for the sake of the planet, less plastic please." And I posted that up because I feel very, really passionate about it, because this is something that will indirectly affect all of us. And as much as, we go into the supermarket and we just buy what we buy, going back, her grandparents and her great grandparents, they would have shopped in the greengrocers, and of course as demand is changing as population grows, convenience as well, so there's a whole picture and a whole story to this. But we can't continue as we are in the way that we are without some major impact. And we're seeing that in the oceans already, and as much as it may not affect us now, it is going to affect our children's children if we carry on in a big way, if we carry on as we are, without a doubt. So it's in the hands of us, and I guess if those large organizations are not going to listen, and they're not going to create the change, then we've got to, at some way, some level, kind of push back, and in a ways we can get them to hear us, in a way try and force the change. And I think that how that comes about is in the meantime is trying to make some choices. So I was really behind all of that. I feel very passionate about it, have done for a very long time. It's just that it's become more tangible, there's more awareness to it now, so it means you can get fully behind it, and then you kind of do some even more research and you start swapping out your choices. But I posted it up, and I shared it, only to find out 24 hours later that 298 people have engaged with that post and liked it. And for me, I've said this before about some of my choices on social media of coming away from Facebook and some of those other things, is that it's not about the likes, mainly, generally, I might have maybe 20 people engage my posts on Instagram, but I get the comments and the shared experience that tells me, that's supporting, or it's inspiring, it's encouraging. And if it touches one person, I'm more than happy. But that has blown me away, because it tells me one thing. It tells me, because it's gone absolutely crazy, it tells me that people really do care. So I'm really chuffed to see that, that people really do care, that this is really important to all of us. And I think that, if I can encourage you all to research your changes, and to take all your plastic back this week with your personal messages on there with your hashtag Air Plastic Feedback, that would be brilliant. That is how revolution positively starts, and how those big changes start, is the critical mass, all of us coming together and standing united and forcing that change, as well as doing your research. I think so many of our items that we buy in multi-use plastic that is one-time use only is horrendous, from the cleaning products that we use, to milk that we buy, to the packaging that we have, and as many of you know, I'm starting off on a whole new journey of putting into practice all that I've learned from my dad and my dear old granddad on growing food, and if I can this winter solstice pull out the dinner, the supper, from that little plot, for our winter solstice meal for the family, I will be absolutely just blown away. And that's my intention, and everything else is a bonus. And only this morning I learned about pickling, and I've created my own little set of pickles using cucumber to see how that works out, and made up the brine with salt and sugar solution, all from scratch, all by hand, well, it was yesterday, not today, I learned that. And then 24 hours later, again 24 hours, a lot happens in 24 hours, is with some mustard seed, celery seed, some chilies, some dill seed, and it absolutely tastes divine, and it's so simple, you know, using cider vinegar, using water, using sugar, using salt, using pickling spices, and the most incredible magic and process happens, and they taste amazing, you know. So, you know, I think in a way, you know, we're kind of going maybe full circle, and less is more, you know. Some of the other changes I've made is using soap, you know, instead of your shower gels. I've also been taught how to make shampoo soap bar, and I've also been able to source locally a shampoo soap bar that is packaged in paper, that's compostable, and that's just brilliant, you know. And then I found that I can make my own bathroom cleaning products, and ingredients cost £1, and I'm going to get around about I think it's about 2.5 litres of cleaning product out of a small bottle. So that's going to last a lot longer. The packaging is a lot smaller, and it's a glass jar, glass bottle, and with a cardboard surround that again is compostable. So that compost carbon waste will go into the composter. You know, I don't want to sound like I'm telling or preaching. That is not what this is about, but for me it's about sharing, because if I was listening to this and I was trying to navigate my way and I was trying to find my way, I'd be chuffed, you know, because it's giving me some ideas, it's stirring up thought, you know. And I like all of you that engage that post on Instagram is feel passionate about it. So I would love to, you know, this is a real big shout out to those of you that engage that post on Instagram. If you are listening, is please share with your stories, please share your tips, your ideas, what you've found, what is working for you. You know, I try to research some of the old cleaning products like Ajax and Vim, that used to be kept in a cardboard container. They were packaged in cardboard, and yeah, you know, you can't get them, and those that you can, you pay a huge shipping delivery cost on them, and it seems like it's kind of going backwards, you know. That's not maybe ideal. So I'd love to hear your ideas, you know. You know, bamboo toothbrushes was another one, and I've already got rid of my plastic razors. I've done that months and months and months back, using a traditional now but razor, you know, metal razor with the traditional razor blades. You know, you take longer to shave that way, but actually, you know, it's kind of a nice process in the morning when you wake up, or in the evening before I go and consult, actually, normally, when I sit down to consult, beforehand, have a shave and a shower, and, you know, kind of, you know, moves you into that space in a great way. But, you know, you take a little bit longer, but maybe that's what it's about now, you know. Maybe it's about, you know, not rushing through everything like we used to and we had to. Maybe it's about saying no to that, you know. I think the time is now. Now, here's a funny story I was going to share with you guys. So yesterday, it felt so stormy here yesterday. It was very, you know, you could feel the air pressure, and it was very, very muggy and close, and I kind of felt like I was walking around in a bit of a fog for a little while yesterday morning. But what was really interesting, I was walking up through town, doing some chores and a few things I do, and I was moving up through town, and I was kind of walking along, and this old, and this is what really shocked me, these elderly, and I didn't catch his face fully, but this elderly gentleman just suddenly was walking along, suddenly walked straight up to me, got right in my face, and shouts at the top of his voice, "Wake up, wake up, wake up." And I mean, I jumped, you know, I didn't know what to do, but run, push, you know, what the hell was going on, you know? And he just then walked off. And I was like, what the heck? What's just happened, you know? A few people approached me and said to me, you know, are you okay? What happened? We were watching, and suddenly that man come out of nowhere, you know. So, okay, based on that, it told me he was physical, he was real, he was in this realm and dimension, you know. So it wasn't some encounter that I just had, it was physical and real. You know, on a logical level, I have no idea what happened. Sitting with it over the last 24 hours, you know, I think to myself, well, maybe, you know, he was not very well. Maybe there was an element of that. And then I think to myself, you know, what a powerful message, though. Wake up, wake up, wake up. And I sat there this morning and thought I was fairly awake. But you know, profound, you know, these things happen in the most profoundest ways. And it was interesting yesterday when I did wake up in the morning and I shared that post, you know, I thought to myself, you know, the wall has come down, things are in change, things are in transformation. One of the things I've been saying to a lot of my clients recently is that, you know, many of them are waking up in the morning and saying to themselves, actually, I can't live like this anymore. Actually, I don't want to live like this anymore. Actually, I want this to change. So, you know, maybe so many of us are waking up, sitting there first thing in the morning and saying, you know what, all of this has got to change. So there you go, guys, a few thoughts. As I said, it's going to be something very different, and as I say, you know, I'm not wanting to tell or steer people on what they feel should be right and wrong. I'm just sharing with you some of my thoughts, feelings, some of the innates. You know, they care very passionately about the world going forwards, and you know, I kind of look at my grandparents' generation. You know, I think they had it hard, but there were so many things that they'd done that were golden, and maybe we are returning to that, and maybe so many of us are waking up and saying, I don't want to do this way anymore. There you go, there's a few thoughts, and I'll be seeing you all very soon. As I say, do share your experience and all of what we have discussed today, and I'll be seeing you all very soon. Any questions, please do feel free to comment below, and I'll be seeing you all very soon. Have the most wonderful day.